Listen, before you say I suck at Project Power, I literally only downloaded Roblox because we don't have an Invincible game that game yet. Invincible game yet. So like, leave me alone. Uh, so this is my struggle to make an Invincible review because I love the Invincible series. It makes me when tell you I love it. My girlfriend tells me to shut up every time I bring it up. It's so funny, but uh I love Invincible, bro. I love this past season. This past season made me really happy, mainly due to the fact that we saw a lot more of what we saw in season 1. Season 2, I liked season 2, but I don't know. I guess it was just underwhelming because which is what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be the aftermath of, dealing with the whole Omni-Man thing, while also, dealing about the incoming threat that was Conquest. So, uh, I guess, my whole thing is like, I kind of wish the Invincible War was longer, but then again, I also know they're like going off of the comics, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine with that, actually. I'm glad they stuck to the comics relatively well. I guess I wanted to see more of the variants. That's one of my main complaints with the whole Invincible War. We saw very little of the variants, of the Invincible variants. Like my boy Viltrumite Mark, bro. I want to see more of him. I don't get me wrong. I get it. We have to move forward, but like I wanted to see more of the marks, bro. Like Mohawk Mark, Omni Mark, Viltrumite Mark, Sinister Mark. Like we only saw them for only a small bit of time. You know what I mean? And the amount of memes that spiraled from that one episode, it makes me laugh so hard, bro. Because my TikTok is it's just full of them, bro, and it's hilarious. Um, I'm mainly going to be talking about the 2 final episodes. I mean, I'll probably bring up the other episodes too, but like it's also I'm also just mainly like, mostly everyone's talking about those 2 episodes. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what else is there to talk about? um, you. I'm sorry. Like the whole reason why I do these yap sessions is because I'm like trying to also like get better at speaking publicly. Um, yeah, no, I really think we should have spent more time with the Invincible variants. But I understand why we couldn't spend a lot of time on them because, well, I mean, we're not about to go through the whole 3 days of carnage that Invincible failed to stop, which I'm gonna get into that later. But actually, no, I'm getting into it right now. We physically watched Mark Grayson sit there as Adam Eve with a broken leg and maybe a concussion. She is fine. She is fine. Do you know how many other people are dead right now? You're over there crying about Eve. Like I understand. Mark is a teenager, well, young adult. Mark's a young adult. He's learned, and he's he's not really in the right headspace for all of that. You know what I mean? So I can understand to an extent, but like you are actively choosing to let variants of yourself go around slandering your name, murdering thousands of people because your girl got a broken leg and was spamming pink wall. You do realize she's one. I'm sorry, I had to drink water. She's one of the most powerful people on the and probably in the universe, probably in the verse. Like I understand she has mental blocks. That's like kind of the whole point of her. I understand that, but she can make her own cast. She's fine. Like obviously that's why. Obviously the whole point was that she was knocked out and had a concussion. Obviously I'm not gonna act like that isn't something that was clearly stated. But Mark, if you don't get out there, like I said, I understand. That's why I like Invincible so much. They actually show that you can understand from both sides of the same coin. But Mark, get up, go help people. You're not gonna tell me, oh yeah, oh yeah, you have every superhero out there in the world right now. You're fine without me. You've seen what the other Invincibles can do. You actively seen how many superheroes it takes just to beat one of those variants. You know nobody else can handle a Viltrumite. Why are you sitting here? Get up. And the whole Cecil versus Mark argument, like I understand it, and after hearing multiple points, yeah, no, Cecil wasn't completely in the right. Morally, no, clearly not, obviously not. But, buddy, like, think about it, really. Would you rather? Would you rather Would you rather have Doc Seismic murder every superhero in the U.S. and take over, or stop him by any means necessary? Because if you don't, he could probably take over the rest of the world. Now that's not now even aside from that, right? The whole putting a device in Mark's head thing. You are a Viltrumite, buddy. I don't think you understand. The last Viltrumite that was on Earth, through multiple buildings, murdered millions, and y'all had no way of stopping him. So my fault. And mind you, like I said, I understand Mark's like, I'm not my dad, but you don't. But buddy, you're still a Viltrumite. I'm taking precautions. Like, mind you, this is me talking from like my mindset. My mindset is, be safe no matter what, just in case. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, could Cecil have explained that better? Yes, obviously, Cecil could have explained that way better than what he actually did. But like, I guess I'm just like, I guess I'm just baffled on the fact that Mark couldn't see the. Mind you, he was like, how are you gonna say I don't threaten people, threaten someone, and then go people change, but couldn't allow Darkwing to change, bro? That's my whole thing. Like, I understand he was kind of like, he wasn't trying to, he was trying to scare Cecil more than anything. But like, still, man, like, why, bro? I just, why? Sorry, I was texting someone, but I'll probably cut this part out. Okay, moving on from that episode, because I'm done talking about the Invincible War and the whole Mark versus Cecil thing. Powerplex, you're an idiot. I think I love your character. I love the backstory. I love how you're making Mark question whether he's actually a hero or not. You're an idiot though. Let me pretend to kidnap my wife and child. Wife, by the way. We're riding. What a ride or die, am I right? But let me kidnap my wife and child. Let them like my newborn child, mind you. Can't even just kidnap my wife. But we gotta kidnap my wife and baby. But we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna draw the Invincible out. Make him beat me to the point where my powers begin to spark up again. And then when I'm desperate, gonna unload the every bit of energy I have left in me into a almost invulnerable Viltrumite, mind you, and not take any safety precautions. To make sure my family is safe. I understand, mentally deranged. Completely get that. I understand 100%. I'll let it be. But I guess I'm just kind of like spitballing here because I know I really do like how this is written, and I really do like how he realizes and is like, what the heck, man? Like he's not obviously not that nonchalant about it, but like he's like bawling his eyes out. Um, but you blame Mark immediately for it. You didn't even oh my bad. I thought Mark can kill people with one punch, not burn people alive. How you gonna blame Mark? But it's the same thing with Angstrom Levy. But at least Angstrom Levy has somewhat of an argument. No, he doesn't. I don't know why I'm lying. No, he doesn't. He does not have an argument. But like, again, I really love how these characters are written because they're mentally deranged, but you still feel Angstrom maybe not, but you still feel for Powerplex. You know what I mean? You still feel for Scott Duvall. Yeah. Oh, moving on. The one episode I didn't like was the mob boss episode, or the dragon episode. I didn't like that episode. That episode was useless to me. I did not need to know. I like, why do I care if Multipaw breaks out? Like, really think about it. Why do I care if Multipaw breaks out? What does Multipaw bring to the table? Like, really sit down and think about it. Multipaw is in the grand scheme of things just a better version of Duplicate. And I'm 98% sure we don't even see these characters in the future. I've read the comics. I don't remember specifically if we do or not. And if we did, I must have forgotten about it. But really think about it though. Why am I sitting here and dealing with why am I sitting here watching a dragon whoop Invincible? Someone who's supposed to be stronger now. I guess you could say it's a mystic dragon, and magical is a way to harm a Viltrumite. But like, really, why are we here? Why do I care how the neighborhood is doing, bro? Like, I understand it's for world building purposes, which I guess it isn't the worst episode of Invincible. Obviously, but like, my lord, I don't care. Give me less. Like this could have been like a plot. You know what I mean? And like I said, obviously they're making it similar to the comics. They're not like, changing up things. Well, they are, but like they're not changing things willy nilly. So I guess Robert Kirkman really wanted to show this to fix some world building issues, I guess. But that's like a half-hour episode. Why am I sitting through this episode? Like, okay, we get it. I guess it sets up the whole, oh yeah, how they just call Eve in the Viltrumite and the Invincible War. So I guess that's it. I guess that's why. But like, we could have solved this, and like, we could have made this like a B plot episode. You know what I mean? One other like, we could have had one of those episodes where it's like the Alan the Alien episode, where we have the first half be about that, and then the second half of the episode be about Alan and Omni-Man's breakout. Now I want to get into the Conquest fight. That fight was amazing. That fight was like, me and Gamma watched it together. That had me on the edge of my seat because wow. What do I even say? They really decided, you know what? This is the last episode of the season. We made the rest of the season besides episode 7 look real kind of, just drag PNGs along. Well, let's lock in on this one. And I was kind of hoping they'd do that because it's wow. Because one thing I will say about going on a quick tangent here. Y'all know how Blue Lock is called, PNG Lock, yada yada yada. And when the final episode came out, and we got actual animation, and everyone was like, "Wait a minute, huh? In my PNG show, who had the budget for this?" But yeah, no, that was my exact reaction, because I was like, "Actual fluent animation in my PNG show? Nuh-uh." But yeah, no, that was hilarious to me. One thing I will say, Debbie, Debbie has to be one of the best moms to ever exist, because the simple fact she is dealing with not only one but two of her children, one of which is both are aliens technically, one of which isn't even technically her child. Actually, no, one isn't even her child, but she's taking care of it. So really, she's just yeah, she has to be one of the best moms in fiction, hands down. But she also has to, you have to understand, she also watches them nearly die in this episode. Multiple times for Mark, and like 2 times for Oliver. Like, she has to deal with a genocidal psychopath in a toddler's body, technically a toddler's body, as he flies around, murdering people. I mean, well, obviously he only murdered like the Mahler twins, but that doesn't count. Yes, it does. Actually, why am I lying? Yes, it does. Like, the Mahler twins were hilarious. He murdered the Mahler twins. And we kind of have to live with that fact. We're only alive. Like, the only reason why she's alive, and probably not, and most likely the only reason she's alive, is because he grew up. No, he grew up. He grew up taking care of. He grew up with her taking care of him. He remembers his real mom. He remembers Omni-Man. But he also remembers her taking care of him and doing the best she can for him. So, but this little kid, bro, I love the fact that Oliver is he acts such like a little brother. Like, he doesn't listen to Mark at all, but he'll listen to Eve. He'll listen to Eve at the drop of a hat. He only really listens to his mom. He can't keep his mouth shut for anything. And he's ready to fight for his older brother, even if the dude's getting like thrashed around. That's a brother right there. But Conquest, that little freak, that freaky man, that absolute demon, bro. He slapped Oliver onto the ground, onto the pavement. He bounced. Do you know how hard you have to hit someone for them to bounce off concrete? Like, you have to hit them pretty hard for them to bounce, bro. Like, that was hilarious to me. And funny thing is, it was the perfect timing for that too, because that day was also the first day I saw the Batman kicking a little child meme. That was hilarious. Like, and I saw someone draw Oliver in Conquest over that. That was hilarious. Like, that made me laugh when I first saw it. But yeah, no, 'cause all you hear is one big beatdown coming. You can just feel the concussion that Conquest gave to Oliver. It was. And I showed my mom the entire show, right? And like, when it got to that part, she was like, because my mom really hates seeing children get hurt. It's like not even a pet peeve. Like, we went to go see the Flash movie, worst movie I've ever seen. I hate that movie. That movie is, ugh. But yeah, no, we went to go see the Flash, and the scene with all the babies start falling out the hospital, right? I could you not? She went and started yelping. It was hilarious. And it's like, so when she first saw that, when she saw the scene where Oliver's getting where Oliver like almost gets ripped in half, I can just tell she was trying so hard not to yell because of how late it was. She was squirming in her seat. She's like, ah. I'm like, it's okay, he's fine, it's okay. But like, she's also with that with Mark, but she's less like that with Mark because he's not 1 year old. But that ending, man, that ending to the Conquest vs. Invincible fight. But well, actually, no. First, let me get into my favorite part. My favorite, like, obviously, this is probably like a basic thing to say about that, but like, my favorite part has to be when Mark slams into the gas truck and his hair is just flowing up and down. Like I'm gonna bring this back up. Oh, I'm gonna say it again. animation in my PNG show? When did we have when did we get the budget for this? But yeah, no, that has been my favorite part. But I also like how Adam Eve puts up more of a fight in the show than she did in the comics. Because in the comics, she gets absolutely worked. Like, I could you not her being punched and impaled took two what do I call it? Panels. Took two panels. I'm glad they gave her more of a fighting chance. I love the fact that you can clearly see how Mark's clearly like slowly losing it throughout the fight. Because you can tell he didn't mean it when he said he wants to hit something as hard as he can. He clearly was holding back. I mean, until like midway through the fight where he's like, wait a minute, I probably shouldn't be doing that now. I want to say he stops holding back when like he saves Oliver for the second time. And bro, Kakas was just having a ball that whole time. Even when he was dying, he was giddy, bro. He was having the best time of his life. And bro was just over there laughing it up. He like, be so for real. Like, you cannot tell me bro didn't give off who was it? Arkham Joker vibes. You remember how he died? He died laughing. Like, you can put that man in an asylum, bro. Please. But yeah, Cecil is also an idiot. My bad. I know this happens in the comics, so I can't really be like, why would they do this, yada yada, because I understand why they do it, because it shows how, Mark's right not to trust Cecil, but, Cecil's also right to take precautions. And, Cecil's still human, he's gonna make mistakes. But you decide to let the most dangerous person on the planet at the time heal up so you can question him. What makes you think he's gonna let you do that? And you think your defenses, mind you, your defenses were 20 tons of steel. I don't remember specifically the number. And bombs. Do you remember when you fired a what was it? Okay, you clearly know this dude is stronger than Omni-Man, right? You used a satellite beam to give Omni-Man what's essentially the most expensive nosebleed known to man. And you think bombs? You think explosions are gonna kill him? I'm sorry, you're not. You do realize Rex. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me calm down. I know he probably knows Rex's sacrifice. Yeah, he probably does know how Rex sacrificed himself. I don't know specifically. I don't know. I don't really care. Rest in peace, Rex. By the way, that is the only death in fiction that actually hurt me, bro. Could you not? They started playing Billie Eilish, bro. That can make a grown man cry, bro. Anyways, and I don't care. I don't care about the other people who are like, oh yeah, that kind of took me out the scene a little bit when they started playing Billie Eilish. Bro, you don't get out of here, bro. You're just saying that because you want to be different. It's okay to be the same. Like, it's okay to have similar opinions. Please stop trying to be different. You're no one special. But yeah, no, you're not. You're back on Cecil. You're not Rex, buddy. You're not going to be able to take out a Viltrumite by just exploding stuff. And even then, that was a last resort for Rex. So, like, really, man, really. So, next season we're gonna have some, the show original stuff, and it's coming out next year. We're gonna see the Ultramite Emperor, and we're gonna see a bunch of stuff that I want adapted into the comics. That from the comics I want adapted into the show. I really hope we get to see Tech Jacket gets his own voice lines and whatnot. I hope, and if not, I want them to, I'm really hoping they give him the Invincible treatment, because Tech Jacket is one of my favorite characters. He's actually really important to the story in that fact. in that matter. So I'm really hoping he gets like a voice actor and at least and like actually does something instead of because like my goat took out a whole Invincible variant by himself with what looks like no effort, man, and still came down to earth, helped people, and went about his day without saying a word. Mind you, he didn't say anything. So I just need either a Tech Jacket series or a Tech Jacket like mini-sode or anything. I don't care. Anyways, that's gonna be this video. If you do something bad, make sure you do it, make it look cool, and I'll see you guys